If your feet are cold at night under 2 blankets, if your ankles look puffy by the time you sit down for dinner, if your legs feel heavy by 2 in the afternoon, or if a sharp cramp wakes you up at 3 in the morning more nights than not, this video is for you. And I want to start by telling you what is almost certainly not going to fix the problem: magnesium. Now, magnesium is not useless. It has a real place, and I will tell you exactly where that place is before we are done today. But if you have been taking it for 6 months for your leg cramps and nothing has changed, please stop blaming your age and please stop blaming the supplement. After 40 years in family medicine, watching seniors get steered toward magnesium for problems that were never magnesium problems, I want to walk you through 5 nutrients that vascular research has pointed to for years as the real drivers of leg circulation in older adults, counting down to the single compound whose production in your body collapses by roughly 60% after the age of 40, and that your annual blood work almost never tests for. The number 1 is not what most people guess. Stay with me. I'm Dr. William Brennan. A sentence on biology before we begin. Your leg circulation depends on 3 things working together: blood vessels that can dilate properly, blood vessel walls that have not stiffened with calcification, and enough endothelial nitric oxide, the gas signal your blood vessels release to relax and widen, to keep flow moving against gravity all the way back up to your heart. Every nutrient I am about to describe targets one of those 3. Magnesium, by contrast, is mostly a muscle relaxant. It can help with the spasm sensation of a leg cramp, but it does not fix the calcified, narrowed, signal-poor vessels that are causing your legs to feel heavy and cold in the first place. That is why magnesium alone does not move the needle for most older adults. We are treating the wrong link in the chain. Number 5 is vitamin D3. D3 belongs on this list because it does much more than maintain bone density. Receptors for vitamin D sit directly on the smooth muscle cells of your blood vessel walls. When your D level is adequate, those cells respond by relaxing, improving blood flow. When your D is low, which it is in well over half of older adults in the northern half of this country, your vessels stay contracted longer than they should. Aim for a 25-hydroxy vitamin D blood level between 40 and 60 nanograms per milliliter. Most seniors I see test below 30. A typical maintenance dose is 2,000 to 4,000 international units daily, but get a baseline level from your doctor before guessing, especially if you have kidney disease or are on prescription medications that interact with vitamin D. Number 4 is CoQ10. Coenzyme Q10 is the energy currency your blood vessel walls use to do their work. Your body makes its own CoQ10, but production declines after age 40, and if you take a statin, that decline accelerates significantly because statins inhibit the same enzymatic pathway that produces both cholesterol and CoQ10. If you are over 60 and on a statin for cholesterol, talk to your doctor specifically about whether a CoQ10 supplement is appropriate for you. The dose I most commonly see in the geriatric vascular literature is 100 to 200 milligrams daily of the ubiquinol form, which absorbs better in older adults than the older ubiquinone form. The benefit is measurable: improved endothelial function, less leg fatigue with walking, and less of that statin-related muscle ache that gets misdiagnosed as just aging. Number 3 is vitamin B12. I include B12 here because the connection to leg circulation is not what most people think. We talk about B12 in the context of memory and energy, but B12 also has a direct role in keeping homocysteine, a damaging amino acid byproduct, at a normal level. When B12 is low and homocysteine rises, the inner lining of your blood vessels takes daily damage that scars them stiff over years. After 60, B12 absorption from food drops sharply for reasons that have nothing to do with how much you eat. Your stomach lining produces less intrinsic factor, the protein required to absorb B12. The combination of declining absorption and decades of medications that further block it, proton pump inhibitors for reflux, metformin for diabetes, means many older Americans are running on B12 levels that are technically normal on the lab, but functionally too low for healthy blood vessel maintenance. Ask your doctor for both a serum B12 and a methylmalonic acid test. Methylmalonic acid is a far more sensitive marker of functional B12 deficiency than the basic B12 number alone. Number 2 is vitamin B3, niacin, in its immediate release form. Niacin's effect on leg blood flow is not subtle. It triggers the release of nitric oxide from the cells lining your blood vessel walls, which is the same molecule the body releases when you exercise. Nitric oxide tells the smooth muscle around your arteries to relax. The vessel widens, more blood gets through. For a senior whose legs feel cold and heavy, that vasodilator effect is the difference between standing all afternoon comfortably and sitting down by lunchtime. The catch with niacin is that it is potent. At doses high enough to move circulation, typically 250 to 500 milligrams of immediate-release niacin, most people experience a niacin flush the first several times. Warm, red, tingly skin for about 20 minutes. It is harmless, but it is uncomfortable, and it is the reason niacin is something you only start after talking to your doctor, and only with monitoring of liver enzymes if you stay on it long term. Do not start high-dose niacin on your own, especially if you have liver disease, gout, or active diabetes. And now we arrive at number 1, and this is the nutrient most likely to be running low in your body right now, the one your annual blood work almost certainly never measures, and the one most directly responsible for the leg circulation symptoms we have been talking about. It is vitamin K2, specifically in the form called MK7. Let me tell you what K2 MK7 actually does inside an aging body, because once you understand the mechanism, the symptoms make perfect sense. K2 MK7 activates a protein called matrix GLA protein. Think of matrix GLA protein as a biological traffic officer whose only job is to take calcium that has gotten into the wrong place, the walls of your arteries, and redirect it back to the bone where it belongs. When K2 is sufficient, matrix GLA protein works as designed. Calcium stays out of vessel walls, and your arteries stay flexible. When K2 is insufficient, calcium accumulates in the lining of your blood vessels in a process called vascular calcification. Picture the inside of an old water pipe in a house built in the 1950s, lined with crusted mineral deposit, narrowing the diameter through which water can flow. That is what is happening, slowly and silently, in the legs of millions of seniors. And here is the most important fact. Your body's ability to recycle and produce active K2 collapses by roughly 60% after the age of 40. By 70, almost every American adult is running a chronic K2 deficit, and almost none of them have ever been tested for it. I want to tell you about a patient. I will call him Harold. 79, retired postal carrier from Cleveland, walked his route in all weather for 36 years. By the time he came to me, the legs that had carried that mailbag 15 miles a day were waking him up at 3 in the morning with cramps, and he had stopped going on walks with his wife because his feet stayed cold no matter what he wore. We checked his D3, 22 nanograms per milliliter, low. His B12, 280 picograms per milliliter, normal but functionally borderline. We started K2 MK7 at 180 micrograms daily with his largest meal because K2 is fat-soluble, corrected his D3 with 4,000 IUU daily, and added a B complex with active B12. By the end of the 3rd month, his 3 a.m. cramps were rare instead of nightly. By month 6, he and his wife were back on their evening walks. A small clinical trial published in Thrombosis and Hemostasis in 2015 by Niacin and colleagues found that 3 years of 180 micrograms of MK7 daily in postmenopausal women produced a measurable improvement in arterial stiffness, meaningful structural change in the vessel walls themselves, not just symptom suppression. I want to tell you about one more patient, and then I want to give you the action plan. Yvette, 74, a retired church choir director from Phoenix. Her complaint was not cramps. Her complaint was that her feet stayed swollen for hours after she sat down, and the swelling was bad enough that she had stopped wearing the kind of shoes she liked. We checked her labs and started her on a different protocol, D3, B12, and a low-dose niacin from her cardiologist after he cleared her liver enzymes. Within 10 weeks, the swelling had reduced enough that she could wear regular shoes again. Was it the niacin alone? Probably not. It was the combination, working at different points in the same circulation pathway. That is the lesson I want you to take from this video. There is rarely one single nutrient that fixes leg circulation in an older adult. There is a small handful of them, working together, addressing different parts of the same problem. Here is the practical action plan I give my patients. First, ask your doctor for these specific tests at your next visit. A 25-hydroxy vitamin D level, a serum B12 with methylmalonic acid, and an ankle brachial index if you have any leg symptoms at all. Second, if you are on a statin and have leg fatigue or muscle aches, ask specifically about CoQ10 supplementation. Most insurers will not pay for it, but it is inexpensive over the counter, and ubiquinol 100 to 200 milligrams daily is what the literature supports. Third, K2 MK7 at 180 micrograms daily, taken with your largest meal of the day because it requires fat for absorption. If you are on a blood thinner, particularly warfarin, talk to your doctor first because K2 interacts with that medication. Fourth, do not start high-dose niacin on your own. The flush is real, the liver monitoring is real, and the dose belongs in your doctor's hands. Fifth, before you reach for any of these, get sufficient quality protein and walk every day, even if only for 10 minutes. Movement is what your blood vessels are designed for, and no supplement substitutes for that. 2 honest cautions. If you have advanced kidney disease, several of these nutrients require careful monitoring, and your nephrologist needs to be in the conversation. If you take warfarin, your INR will need to be checked more frequently when starting K2. And if any of your leg symptoms include sudden swelling in one leg only, calf pain that feels different from your usual cramps, or skin color changes, that is not something to manage with vitamins. Call your doctor today. A deep vein thrombosis is an emergency, not a deficiency. I want to leave you with this. Your leg circulation is not declining simply because you have gotten older. It is declining because specific, measurable, correctable nutritional shortfalls are preventing blood vessels that are still fully capable of working from doing so. The coldness is not your destiny. The swelling is not a sentence. The cramps that wake you up at 3 a.m. are a signal with causes, and when the causes are understood clearly, solutions. Drop a comment below telling me which symptom hits you first: cold feet at night, cramps at 3 a.m., or heavy legs by 2 in the afternoon. I read every comment, and what comes up most consistently in this community shapes what I cover next. Take care of yourself. Your legs have carried you through this entire life. They deserve the right care now.